Yeah. So hello everyone. Good morning and good evening. So last class we have actually discussed about Angular services. Okay. So what is Angular service? So Angular service is a special class which is going to provide the data. It's a data provider as well as it contains a business logic, right? And that business logic can be injected to the individual components through the dependency injection, and you can just call the methods of it, and you can use the business logic in that component. Okay, so we have discussed that. Okay, so we have discussed, one second, people are joining. Yeah, so we have discussed that part. And uh, so services example also we have seen yesterday. Okay, so
Hello,
yeah, yeah.
sir. Yesterday you discussed about the dependency injection.
Yes.
It is a design pattern, and yesterday I was searching in the internet. It was showing some annotations format to use this dependency injection.
Yes, yes, yes.
So it will be discussed in the next topics, or
It's a dependency injection, of course, but in Angular dependency injection is a little different. I show you.
oh,
Simple. So see here, I have a service. This is the service injectable. Okay, so this
yes, yes, yes.
service can be injected to any other component. It's an injectable thing. Okay, so this service will be containing some set of functions or set of methods which contain the business logic. So to call those methods, I will be injecting this object to the component. So in which format and how you're going to inject to the components is you need to just see here. I have this component. So this component is dependent on employee service because I need some data in the employee list component. I want some data, and that data is available in the employee services. So employee service object I want. Okay, it means you are dependent on this one. So what Angular says is if your component is dependent on any other service, so you just need to inject it. I mean, you just need to just declare as a dependency so that automatically Angular will inject the object of this service to you. And where we declare the dependency is in the constructor. So in the constructor, if you just specify the object of it, so automatically by the time the component has been created by the Angular, it automatically, I mean, by the time it creates, it execute the constructor. So while executing this constructor, it Angular understand that your component is depend on the service. So Angular automatically creates an object of the service and inject it to you through this declaration. You don't need to go and create the Angular service object intentionally. You just have to declare it. Okay, Angular is gonna inject to you, and using that object, you can just call the function whenever you want. You are either you the page loads or else any other events you wanna fetch data, you can just call. Okay, that's the dependency injection. And yeah, so yesterday we have discussed the services concept, right? How can we get the data from service? Yeah, simple thing is okay, in component I don't have data now. The complete data is going to maintain from my service, fine. But we today we are going to something next level of it. What is that? What is that is, yes, of course, service is the data provider and mostly it's a business logic provider, right? Then where can we get this data? See here, this data mostly it is like a static data, right? Generally if you take about any real-time application, so where you get the data, you never maintain the data in the client side itself. It's just like static files, right? Because we will receive a data from the backend server, right? So server is going to produce the data. It means server is connected to the database, and mostly database will be having the data, and you'll do a complete data storage and retrieval everything from database, and database can be connected through server. Okay, now what is my plan is how to fetch data from server to the service and then to the component. I have a diagram of it. So we go something next level of service now. This is your notes. I have already shared these notes to you. So today we are going to understand service is over. Today we are going to understand something called HTTP and observables in Angular. Okay, what is HTTP? We all know HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and this is the protocol. Is a kind of language between the client and server. So how a client and server can be, exchange data between each other, how they are communicate between each other. Uh, Using HTTP protocol. Like we have get request, post request, put, delete. So we have different methods of it. Okay, you want to fetch data from server, get request. If you want to push something to server, is a post request. If you want to update something at server side, is a put request. If you want to delete something at server side, is a delete request. So every HTTP request will be having different methods based on what operation you're going to perform with that server. Okay, fine. What is this observable? Yeah, observables in Angular is very important concept. So observable means it's a kind of raw data. Okay, it's like as a sequence of raw data, sequential raw data. We call them as observable. Okay, first let's understand the flow. Then you understand the observable concept. Okay, see here. Um, in this, I got a cursor here. Okay, fine. See here. This is your browser and this is the server and database is this side somewhere online. Okay, so we have discussed till now how to bind data. This employee list, employee details are components. Even we have discussed yesterday is employee card, employee list. Yeah, these two are components. Okay, and these two components are receiving the data from the employee service. So now what we have done yesterday, only these three we have actually. It means the service is having the data. If you can recollect, see here, my service is actually having a data. So I have injected this service to each and every component. So automatically I can call the function to get data. But now the something next level of the service is observable and HTTP. It means you don't need to store data in the service, you have to get data from the server. Okay, so generally every real-time application usually get data from server because we never maintain a static data, only same old data in an application. Okay, it's like continuous process. The data is keep on updating and you're gonna get some dynamic data results. So what we see today is this all static data. Okay, so now when I come to this concept, so how can you receive a data from the server is in between there is one HTTP module is there. Okay, for example, if you know already JavaScript, so in JavaScript application, so JavaScript can be used for client side, right? JavaScript can be used for client side, but in JavaScript based application, if you want to fetch data from the server, generally what we do, we use Ajax concept or we use the fetch API. Okay, in Ajax concept only we use the fetch API or we use Axios to fetch and sending data to the server and all. So all server related activities we use this third party modules, Axios, fetch API and Ajax. Okay, the plain Ajax calls using XML, this one, XML HTTP request. Okay, so these are the special objects to deal with server side data. Okay, even React also we are using Axios because React doesn't provide their own library, so we have to use Axios in React. But in Angular, internally they are using the Ajax calls. Internally they are using Ajax call, but they have given all those operations in a form of one module. Okay, what is that module is HTTP client module. So there is a special module. Okay, so this just like ng model belongs to forms module, right? Just like that HTTP calls anything you want to receive from server operations, there is a module specifically designed for that. That's a HTTP client module. So internally they have written the code to get data from the server using Ajax calls only. Okay, we are not going to use plain Ajax, we use HTTP client module. Okay, so the flow like this, see here, when service want to receive a data, it will use the HTTP request. It will send a HTTP get request to the server. Server will be giving responded back. Okay, and how this HTTP client module is providing data to this service is in the form of observable. So in which format you will receive data from the server is observable. What is this observable is, you will receive a something called raw data. Okay, observable is nothing but it's a sequential raw data. Okay, and once the raw data has been received, and what service has to do is, this is going to typecast, type conversion, like some raw data will be getting. So if it is employee data, I will convert to employee object. If it is a customer data, I'll convert to customer object. Like that, I'll typecast it and I will share with the components. And also how to share the data with these list. For example, you send a request to server. Server have some 4 employees, so you receive 4 employees and you display. And after some time, server is uh, created. I mean, after some creation operation or something, now have 5 employees. Previously, 4 employees are there. You received and you displayed. Now the server is updated with 5 employees. So for the 5 employees, how does this component knows that you have updated to 5 employees and I need to fetch data for the fifth employee also? How does I know that? Yeah, to understand this complete picture, they have given something called this kind of setup. What is that? Is something called subscribe. Simple example, you understand. If you understand this example, you understand the Angular. Okay, this is just general example. With that, you understand the Angular. What is that? Is, see here, for example, we have a newspaper company, any newspaper company, like Hindu newspaper, Sakshi, Inadu, whatever newspaper company. So newspaper company can be receiving the data from different resources, right? So some independent journalists will be there, some different other reporters will be there. So different people will be giving you some different amount of data to the newspaper company. Some raw data will be given to you. Okay, so newspaper company, what they do, once they receive the raw data and based on their own research, they will convert the data into a proper format. They will print a newspaper with a properly arranged messages, like properly arranged news. They will generate a newspaper. Okay, so once they generate a newspaper, there are n number of houses in the city. Okay, so now tell me, this particular newspaper, is it served to every house in the city? No. Okay, so that newspaper cannot be served to every house in the city. Only the people who are subscribed to that newspaper company, only they can receive the newspaper, right? If you're already subscribed to monthly or yearly something, so for the whole year you don't need to request anytime. They will keep sending you the data, updated content to you. Same way your Angular also works. Okay, so your Angular service is going to receive the data from database is a form of observable. Okay, so employee service is responsible to typecast the data. And how can this data from server to service is available to each and every component is, each and every component has to subscribe to the service. And whoever subscribed to that, automatically whenever update happen in database, they will receive updated data. And you don't need to keep on calling to the server to fetch data. Hey, give me updated data. You don't need to bother about it. It's just like a pipe. Once you have subscriber, it's just like a pipe. So whatever happened in the tank, it automatically produced to you. Okay, fine. So this is the concept. So now something new here is observable is a sequential raw data. And subscribe means, if you, in order to receive a continuous data from the server, you need to subscribe to that service to receive the data, just like a newspaper. Okay, and who are all the components can receive the data is, who are all the component has subscribed to the service, they can only receive the data. Okay, Fine. And so I have given information about it, what I have discussed. So you can just go through that. And yeah, so steps also given. You need to add first the HTTP client module. You need to import the HTTP client module in the app module. Root module, you have to import the statement HTTP client module, and you can start using that to fetch data from the server. But fine. So can we do one thing? Till now, what? Same example. I don't want to change the example. Same example, but I want to get this data not from the local service data. I want to host this online. Okay, I want to keep this entire data online, and from there I want to fetch data. Okay, so first step, I want to keep this data online. Okay, how can we keep this data online? How can you host a JSON application to online? Previously, we were using uh, myjson.com. Okay, this is a website where you can host your plain JSON file to online and you will fetch it. But this is somehow it is. I mean, that URL was deprecated. They have taken this website down, so we can't use that. But instead, evergreen website is there. That is GitHub, github.com. So we will be hosting the JSON files to the GitHub. Okay, and from there we'll fetch it. Sir, how? In GitHub, there is something called Gist. You will be hosting us code snippets also online using Gist. So let me host it, Gist. Before you host, you need to have a GitHub account. Just simply go log into the github.com and just sign up for that. Okay, so once you have login, you can access the Gist. It's just a module of GitHub. Fine. First, I tell you how to host it, and then I will fetch from there. Okay. So how to host and where is my data was? See, this is my JSON data. When I open, yeah, this is my entire huge JSON data. But I want to keep that online because as of now we don't have Node.js server. So I just tell you how to fetch data from online. This one URL required. So how to host this data is you need to go to Google and just type GitHub Gist, GitHub Gist. Okay, and there is a website called gist.github.com, and you can just open that. Okay, so this is the GitHub Gist, and I have a lot of Gist, a lot of files I have hosted online, and you must have to log in. Okay, so that's why I said you have to have a GitHub account first, and then log in, and then you can try this one. Okay, here you need to give the file name here, and here is the file content. So file name, I will usually give the today's date. Okay. So what is this one? Something called employees hyphen 30/09/2020. Okay. Dot JSON. That's my file name. This is my file name. And what is the content? Content is here. Let me Control A, copy. Okay. And if you want to verify, is that sir, is it uh, a proper JSON or not? You can validate online. I think I showed yesterday. There is a validate. What is that? Validate JSON online. There is a, yeah, this one jsonlint.com. So here you can evaluate is it correct or not. Let me just copy. Okay, let me paste it and then validate. It's a valid JSON, so you can go ahead. Okay, let me copy everything and go to create just. I made a file name JSON and let's paste my content here. So I have pasted the content and then you just no secret just because we don't need the password and all. Just select this create public guest. No password required as of now. Just click on create public guest. So that's it. It will what happened? Okay, create public guest. This button you have to click on. Yeah, it's creating now. Okay, so now check. My JSON data has been hosted here. Okay, and if you want to access this data, I don't want the whole website. I want to access only this file. So there is something called raw button. Just click on the raw button. you have data. So this is your JSON file which is hosted online. Okay, and what is the URL to access is github just.com something something something. Let me copy the URL. Copy that and go to notepad. Let me paste it here. I made a mistake. I paste here. Okay, the huge URL. Fine. So we have data, the same data what we are using here in application, same data I have hosted to online. Fine. Now what I do is let me fetch data from this particular URL. If you know one URL, you can get data from any URL, any external URL. Okay. So fine. Now let's do one thing. In my Angular service, I don't need to maintain any data. So let me delete this entire story. Let's make an empty array. Okay. So now component, where is that? Come on. Component doesn't have any data. And now service also doesn't have any data. If both are doesn't have any data, you can't get anything. When you click on the button also, nothing you will get. Okay. Now let's fetch data from the server. Okay. The very first point, how to fetch data is, I have dictate everything in a documentation. Step number one, I'll tell you that also. First, you have to import HTTP client module. Okay, because HTTP, we receive data using this module. You need to import this module and declare as a import statements in an app module. So what is that step is, you need to go to, first of all, app module. In this, you need to import um, something that is HTTP client module, not client, just HTTP client module. Okay, so this client module I have imported, and let me add in the imports along with the forms module. We were using forms module, right, for ng model. Just like that, HTTP client module to fetch data from server. HTTP client module. Fine, that's the first step. And the second step is, uh, in the service itself, here in the service itself, you um, you don't need to create any separate file for that. Okay, in a service only. Here what happening, it is giving data just in a local. I don't want any data in local. I want data from the server. It means this particular function, I mean this particular method has to going to get data from the server. Okay, so how can I get the data is, your service has to dependent on, see here, as per the diagram, your services should be dependent on HTTP, and this HTTP is going to get data. Again, here dependency injection concept. So you need to inject HTTP client to the service. What is that is, in the constructor you declare HTTP client. It is a class called HTTP client. Okay, so this HTTP client is a part of HTTP client module. So first you need to import the client module so that I can start using the class of that HTTP client. And using this HTTP client, you will get the data. Fine. How you write the logic is, um, you will receive this dot HTTP client, HTTP client dot get function. Get. I'm using get method. Why get method is simple. I think we all know the HTTP methods, right? HTTP methods. What HTTP methods we have? We have get method to get something from server, and to receive something from server. We have post method. Mostly we use this for form submission to submit something to server, and put, you want to update something at server side, and delete, mostly you want to delete some resource or data at server side. Okay, so four types of requests, and even more are there, trace and download lot of things. Now we need get, because we are supposed to get data from server, this location. So get request, so you have to give HTTP client dot get. Just like that we have post to, put to, a lot of things. We'll see them in coming classes. Now just get. Okay, so what is the URL you are going to fetch? This URL. Let me grab this URL, uh, copy that. So I'll just say let data URL of type string, because URL in form of string is equal to I use a backtick operator. In that I'll paste the URL. Okay, huge URL. So from where you're gonna fetch data is get data, get of data URL. Okay, and here you need to write something else. Um, dot pipe, and in that retry one. What is this retry one is? Suppose you are not, I mean, how many times you need to make a call to the server to fetch data if you are unable to get this one time. Okay, don't make multiple hits to the server, only just retry for this one time, only one time hit fetch data. Okay, and yeah, that's fine. And yeah, so what type of data you receive back is you will make here of type observable any type of data. I just made any, and here also you can just actually write return statement, and the get you have to return any. Okay, so why I have written any is we are not sure of what is the type. Okay, if you want you can actually make the type. If time is there, we'll make this. Can we define the type of it? It's better. Actually, you have to define. Yeah, very rarely we use any because it's just a general type, right? If you want to typecast it to a proper object, you have to define that one. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me create an interface for all this content. Okay, so let me do that. So let me copy this entire object. Okay, so let me create a separate interface to typecast to that one. So I don't want any actually. So let me convert to the proper type. This is array of this type. So can we do one thing? I just create a separate folder called models. Okay, generally we used to create this, right? Models for custom objects. Models. So in this, I create a TypeScript file with employee. I employee. So export interface I employee. So this I employee contains the data like this. This is the data, but let's me okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just make quickly to change that value. So I'll just keep that here. Wherever double quotes is there, I will just change to nothing, replace with nothing, replace all. Okay, fine. So let me grab this, copy, and employee contains only data, right? Only this gender onwards. Okay, I want up to here, copy, and then paste it here. That's your data. Okay, let's convert to the proper types. It is string. This is string. Let me copy mostly string only, copy. This is string, and this is number, string, 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 number. This is also a number. This is also a number, and this is something offset. I'm not sure. It will be a, yeah, number only. This is string. Yeah, this is email string, login ID string, alphanumeric string, string. Let me convert this also string. This also string. Okay, this also string. Date, of course, string. This is number. This is string, number, number. Okay, so this also a string. This is string. This is string. This is string. Okay, fine. So we have defined the type of data now. So tell me what type of data you receive from server. not just object, it's an array of objects. So you can define the type in the service here, not just any. I will declare the type is I employee array. I can typecast it. Okay, and here also I employee array. So I'm going to receive from this URL an observable, and that I'm typecasting to I employee array because I'm pretty sure that data is going to be the I employee array of it. Okay, that's how you will write a logic to fetch data from HTTP client. Fine. So I have a service. Now, this service data, how can I receive at the component level? At the let's start with the cards now.
Just one question here, Naveen.
Yeah.
Yeah, why we are using pipe here?
Why we are using?
A pipe here, dot
Uh,
pipe.
yeah, this pipe is it a kind of we want to fetch data in a sequentially. Um, Generally, we use this pipe function to fetch data sequentially, and inside it is just coming from RxJS. Where is the pipe? Pipe function is not there. How come? 1 second. Yeah, pipe is a part of observable. Okay, so pipe is a method. Inside we will be using this retry. Generally, we use the pipe, and I never know why we use the pipe function. This is to actually fetch the data sequentially from server. We use the pipe. Okay, so inside we'll have a retry to multiple times you know fetch data, and inside we also have error handling. I talk about error handling in a minute. So just remember this is to fetch data sequentially from server. Okay, fine, and yeah, so we have a method ready to fetch data, and how can I access this data in my component? So let me open that employee card, this file, employee card. Here, see you got some error. Okay, so observable of employee is missing something. Yeah, I tell you, if it is receiving data from the HTTP, you don't need to do in this way directly. Okay, it's a different way you have to do it. How is you just need to say you need to subscribe to that. See, as we discuss, employee service is going to provide you data for each component whoever subscribe to the service. So how you subscribe to the service is like this dot employee service, this dot employee service dot what is the method, fetch all employees dot there's a function called subscribe. Okay, this subscribe is having one callback function inside, so that will be giving you the data. Okay, and that this data indicates the return type of here this I employee. So what type of data you receive is I employee array. So that is nothing but this data, and this particular data I'm going to assign to my local employees. So how you assign is simply just say this dot employees is equal to the data. Okay, that's how you will receive, just this how you will subscribe to the service to fetch data. Fine, and now this particular data employees, it's not any array because earlier it is any array, but now it is converted to what, I employee array. Okay, fine, that's you can just fetch data using this way. Okay, now check your application, you click on the button, you receive data. See, this data is coming from server, and please also cross check your component doesn't have any data stored here in the service. Also, suppose the service also doesn't have data stored in the local, but this data is fetching from this particular URL. So very simple, you need to fetch data using HTTP client objects. In this format it returns an observable and you need to typecast it, and whoever subscribe to this method they can receive data. And generally who will subscribe, component, because hardly component has to display data. So you can write ng on in it, but we have made a button to fetch. So service.fetch.subscribe, so you receive data, and that to whom you gonna assign, you can assign to the proper type, and you can use that. You don't need to declare this empty also, just declare as it is, and you receive a data and you get here. Let me click on the button. You get data. Fine. And one more thing, employee list also. One second. One second. The employee list also I want to fetch data. So how to do? Go to employee list. I don't need to do this like this. And this is go. Can someone mute it? Okay. Yeah. So what you do? This dot employee. Come on. Employee service dot fetch all employees dot subscribe. Okay, in this you will be receiving the data, and this data I'm going to assign to this dot employees is equal to my data. This data is of type I employee. I assign to my local I employees, and you don't need to assign any empty. Just declare it, and you will also receive data here. So employee list will come automatically because we made in the ng on init. So whenever the component is loaded, you get data. And here when you click on a button, you get data. So fine. So now what? We had made an application in this format. So we have some online server called GitHub. So from there we fetch data using HTTP, some raw data, and whoever subscribed to the service, so they will receive a data. So we have made this whole picture in our example. Fine. Now, so yeah, one important thing here is we have, let me close all. Yeah. So we have discussed three concepts, actually, main concepts. One is component interaction. Okay. And second thing is Angular service. And now third one is HTTP and observable. Okay. So we have discussed mainly these three concepts in the last yesterday and today. Okay, so now what's my plan is, I want to take an example which covers all the concepts. Okay, so I want to fetch data from server, I want to use service, I want to use the component interaction as well. Okay, so let's see what is that one. I have an example called a contact app. Generally, I used to do the contact app with some local data, but now anyway we discussed the HTTP. So we will get the data from server, use HTTP, and we will use the contact app. Okay, so what is the contact app is? I think I have
What
it.
if we don't know the type of the data
Yeah,
incoming
if you don't
from?
know the type, you can just make it as any type.
It will work.
We provide if we mention any, that time we don't need to create the interface.
No, initially you declare as any type, and later
Okay.
you can change the required type. But the problem is if you declare any type, you won't receive the automated names of it. Yesterday we have seen that. If it is any type, any array, so while declaring in the component, see, now it's not showing any error. Suppose if you want to fetch picture, this employees has been declared in the component as IEmployee. So already IEmployee contains the proper structure. So if that is declared as a proper structure, so when you do control space, automatically see all these things is coming. Yesterday this things was not coming. Okay, because we have declared the type now. So now just say picture dot. So we have three: large, medium, thumbnail, like this, and we can
Now,
strictly define the data.
in real time, normally we know the types.
Yeah, generally you must have to know the type and you have to declare the type only. Very rarely we use any type. Okay, for testing purpose we use any, but later we once it is confirmed we have to define the type. Okay, fine. So let me take a backup of this application and it starts with the contact type. I tell you what is contact type and how the flow works. Let me take a backup of this. Close all. Yeah, src angular package.json. So these three files enough. So let me go to Angular evening fundamentals. Let's create a fresh folder 09 hyphen Angular services and HTTP. Let's paste. Okay, done. Now what I do is I will clear everything. First, let me start the server. Uh, what is this? It appears Angular module resolve. What is this one? This is something weird. We'll see. We'll see. So let me stop the server. So where does the REST API comes? REST API comes like this format. Your REST API comes in this format. We have this type of URL. No, this is REST API. Okay, REST API mostly at server side will define. Okay, so from Angular we just need to fetch data. Just have to use the URLs. I tell you how to create a REST API using Node.js. Okay. Now let me stop the server. Yeah, let me clear the things like I don't need components and services. Delete them. Models I'll keep it because I'm going to use the same amount of data now also. So I just keep it. And an app component, I don't need these guys. Delete. And I don't need the declarations as well. Client module required. Let me keep the client module somewhere starting. I don't need this. And let me delete the things. I think it's fine. So I kept HTTP client module as it is because next from now onwards every example is with deals with server. Okay, so I need that one. Okay, so we'll go one by one, next level. Okay, fine. So anything else we have to do? App component we cleared, models and all we cleared, app module we cleared. Okay, fine. It's fine. Now that's okay. Let me start the server. Npm start. Okay, instead of creating the whole application, we'll use like this. Fine. It will start. Meanwhile, we have to understand what is the plan now. So plan is contact app. So I'll show you the contact app and then we'll discuss what is the contact app is. Let me go to some outside. I just show you the design. I think fundamentals contact app. This one. Okay. So this is the contact app. So it looks very simple, but here we are using all the three concepts. One is component interaction, and one is services, and one is HTTP. Three concepts we have used. So in this example, we have actually three components. For example, if you want to know that, let me select Snippet tool. Yeah, let me take this. Okay. Okay. See here. This contact app is one component. Okay, this is one component, and this contact list. I'll just convert different color. This contact list is one component, and this contact card is one component. Okay, so this is one component. This is one component. This is one component. Now, this all the components are connected in this way, like this. It means in the contact list app, I have configured this one and this one. So this list and this card, no way connection. See, as per the diagram, this one, no way connection. Okay. Now what happened? This data, what you see here, the same data. Okay. We receive data through HTTP and service. We'll keep data here. Now the best part of this story is um, I have a list of data, right? So when I click on any row, that particular row specific data I want to display in a card format just beside to that. Okay, it means this particular component doesn't have any data. So whenever I click on any row in this particular table, automatically I want to display that data here. So I need to send this data to this guy. So how this guy can receive the data, that to particular amount of data is, this is not connected to this one, and these two not in relation also. This is in child, this is a child of it one. So what you do is, whenever you click on a particular row, whenever you click on a particular row, so this data you need to send to the parent. Okay, when I click on particular row, I need to send to the parent. Now parent will be having the data. Okay, and later this particular data I need to send it to the child. Okay, so this child is going to receive the data and that is going to display. So in this component interaction also there, so lift up the state the parent level and parent to child, and also we receive data from server. That is the story. And also what is the name you can give for each component. For example, I can give here the names is let's take some different color. Yeah, this is contact hyphen app. Okay, this is the name of the component, and next this will be contact hyphen list, contact list, and this will be, let's make somewhere here, contact hyphen card. So we need three components. So let me save this diagram so you easily understand the flow. So let me save this on desktop. Contact app, not Redux, Angular. Save it. Contact app Redux. Where is ours? Contact app Angular. Yeah, let's copy. So let me keep that in the notes. In the notes, I'll keep it. This is what component interaction. This is not required, right? I'll delete this one. And I kept the JSON file as it is because this is a JSON file. You have to host it online, and I'll paste it. Our diagram. So with this diagram, you easily understand the flow. So let's create three components required. So now tell me what things required. One is contact card, and this contact card is a child. This contact card is a child component of app component. Okay, its parent is app. Okay, and then one more is contact list, and one more is contact. Oh, sorry, it's not contact card, dude. It's a contact app. Okay, so this will be the contact card. Three things, and one contact service. Okay, we need one contact service, and that is having HTTP also. Fine. So what I do, first of all, I'll change the navbar to Angular with contact app. Okay, so in SRC app, I will create two folders. One is components and one is services. New directory services. Okay, now in components, I need three components. So let me right click on the components, open in terminal. So what are the three components? App list card. Okay, so ngGC contact hyphen app. That's the main component of this application. Contact app. Yeah, and then one more ngGC contact hyphen list. And one more, you can just press up arrow to get the previous command. So contact card. Fine. Now let's create a service, contact service. So in the service folder, I right click, open in terminal. So let's say ngGS stands for service, and just say contact. Don't give service name also. It will come automatically. Just say contact, enter. Okay, done. So now what I do in the app component, what you configure first, the root is contact app. So let me configure app contact app. Okay, so if you configure this root, so you will see the, not this one, keep it here. Yeah, you'll see the contact app. Let's make a design of it. So what I do in the contact tab, HTML, I'll make one container, one row, single column, let's say p.h, h4, let's say contact app, let's some p.lead, lorem 30 tab, some 30 dummy words. Okay, let me give some nice color, text danger, red color. Same application we also discussed in React. So that time I used to give blue color. So simple in my Angular class and Angular class and React.js class, almost every example looks same. So look and feel everything same. Only thing is we will make in React and we'll make in Angular. So if you join my React class, so it is easy for you to understand the concepts of Angular and React, because same example. Even lastly, we have same shopping cart application. Look and feel everything same. Only backend, some Angular batch Angular, React batch is React. Okay, fine. Uh, and one more thing is, in Angular we have NGRX, in React we have Redux. Okay, so that's the thing. That's how I design, because many people will join both, so they easily understand the concepts. Fine. So there also context interaction, I mean component interaction, services, everything will be there. Okay. What's the plan? Yeah, here 9 column, here 3 column layout. I want this format. 9 column layout, 3 column layout. Okay, so I do one thing. Another row, call MD9. Here I'll make app contact list. Okay, and then call MD3. In this I have app contact card. Okay, so now check, you'll get the default setup. Contact list works, contact card works, fine. It's okay. Design and all will do, table structure and all will do, but let me fetch data first. How to fetch data? We have to fetch data from the service. First let's configure the service part. In services, first of all, you want to fetch data from server. You need to, first step is what? You need to import the HTTP client module that we already have, because same example I'm using. So HTTP client module I have imported, and that I have used in the imports array. That's the first step. And second step, you need to create a service to receive data. And to receive data, we need to dependent on, the service has to dependent on HTTP client. So you need to declare the dependency in a constructor. So private HTTP client of type HTTP client. So if you declare like this, automatically Angular will inject this object to you. You can start using that directly. So what?
A small HTTP client is a variable.
Yeah, it's a variable. It is the type.
This can be anything.
Yeah, this can be anything. This can be ABCD also.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Some people usually write underscore. That's your wish. If you don't make also, it works. This is a variable name. Yeah. So let's make a function or method to fetch data. So what is your plan? Get all contacts. Okay. Only one function, that's getting all the data. So let's make public get all contacts. Okay. And this is the method. So here, what is the data URL we have already? That is this URL. So let's make let data URL of type string is equal to the backtick. I'll just make paste here. I got data URL, and how to fetch data is here this dot HTTP client dot get request, because we're going to fetch data. So data URL dot pipe, and in that retry of 1. Okay, and this is going to return something. Okay, and what type of data is it? Is returns I employee array. I have not removed the model, so I just use it, I employee. And this return type also you declare as observable, and this is of type also same I employee array, same type. That's it. This is your method to fetch data. And I
Retry
need
count can be any
anything. Yeah,
number.
can be any number.
Okay.
Okay, so now I need to call this method. I mean I need to subscribe to this service and this method to fetch data. And from where you want to get the data? I want to get the data in the where I want to get the data in contact app or here. As I said, we have to get data in the list. So what I do is in the contact list, I think it is there in the contact app. Yeah, contact list. This contact list is dependent on the service, because to fetch data, let me declare dependency private employee service of type employee. Where is that? Employee array. Not there. Oh, sorry. It's a contact, dude. Contact service. contact service. Sorry, it's a contact name is changed. It's contact service. Yeah. Now you have to subscribe and fetch data. And when you want to get data, whenever application loads, I want data. I don't need any events or something. So that is ng on init. Okay. So here I want to get. So meanwhile, I'll create a local variable to catch hold of my data. So public contacts of type. But I employee not looks good, no? For this example, employee contact, you'll confuse. So I'll do one thing. I will change the model. It's not I employee. I'll refactor to I contact. That's better. I contact. Do you want to replace? Yes. So if you change automatically, I think service also gets changed. Yeah, I contact. I contact. Super. That's part of WebStorm. Otherwise, you have to change everywhere. Okay. Fine. And now what? Where is my component? Here. Let's say public contacts of type I contact array. Okay, this declare. Now, when you fetch data is this dot contact service dot get all the contacts dot subscribe. You need to subscribe to fetch data. So this is going to give you a data. So the data, and what is the data is we declared as contact array. So I just say this dot my local contacts variable receive data is just data. That's it. Now the contacts is filled with data. And if you want to see that contacts is data is there or not, so you can just bind it to the HTML to see the data. So you can just go to HTML. Here I'll make one p tag. I'll use expression contacts. Okay, so contacts, if you type, you just check here, you get the contacts. Actually, you can't see the data properly. All object has come. But if you want to really see the data, if you want to see really data, you can use the pipe. But we are not discussing pipe concept. Actually, I thought of discussing the miscellaneous concepts in the last of this module. So yeah, pipes will be like this. Just one pipe symbol. This is a pipe symbol, and just give JSON. Just remember one point. Any object you want to see the content of the object on the screen, you can just use the pipe and JSON filter. So it means it is just like in JavaScript we write no JSON dot stringify of object. What happened? We convert object to string and display. So just like that, in Angular we have this pipe. So pipe JSON means it will convert to JSON and display. So if you write the JSON filter, this pipe symbol and JSON, so you get JSON data. Fine. So we confirm that yes, of course, I have received this Caspian, all the data here, Caspian, yeah, fine. But I don't need to display this data. And even one more thing, this data is little clumsy, right? It's completely, it is just like merge. If you don't want that, if you want to display data properly, like this setup, this type of line by line, if you want to display a proper format, you can actually use, instead of p tag, use the pre tag, the pre-formatted tag of HTML. If you use the pre tag of with JSON, so you will get the data in a proper way. See, properly arranged. So you can easily understand what is the data is coming from server. So pre-tag mostly we use to see the raw data, and then we'll convert to a table format and make use JSON. Fine. So we confirm the data is there. Now let's display data in a table format. And what are the fields in the table? Serial number, name, email, phone, location. Okay, so let's start with the table. T head, table row, th star, 6 tab, serial number, name, only name, because picture I'm not displaying, because picture I have this to display. So name, email, phone number, location. So name, email, and this is phone number, location. Okay, that's it. So let's check how it is. You get only this part. I want to properly table. What color it is? Black. Okay. So yeah, I just say give the proper bootstrap classes. So table table danger. So you get some nice reddish color. Okay, and text center and table striped. What else? Table hover. You hover on it. Hover effect, and T head will be black color. So BG dark, text white. Okay, now check. You get the data, this format, and content will be in reddish color. Okay, so let's make T body, and here we use table row, and we have to use the looping concept ng for. So star ng for let contact of my local contacts, and in that table data I use the expression. So we have declared now contact is of type contact array, right? I contact. So if that is the case, you will keep getting the proper fields of it. See here what you need: login dot, you need UUID. Previously this was not getting because we declared as a any type. Now it's a proper type, so it is easy for us to detect, and it's pretty
Serial number would be different than UUID.
yes, I tell you. So yeah, I tell you, this particular objects as having unique ID, so you can display unique ID. And sometimes your data will not contain the unique ID. So that time, how can I display this 1234 numbers? Okay, so because this 1234 number not belongs to the object, then how can I declare? That is like you can actually make semicolon, let I is equal to index. You can declare like this, and this I you can use here instead of UUID. You can use the I. So thus I indicates the index of every element of it. So I think generally you get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that numbers. Okay, if you don't want 0, you can just simply say I plus 1. Okay, so you get 1, 2, 3, 4. If you don't have a unique ID, you can use this process to get the unique numbers. 1, 2,
Index
3,
is
4.
a keyword.
No, it is index is represents the index of this array, each iteration. See, this is an iteration, right? So every iteration index will be some variable, and you can use that. This is just index of array element.
It's a keyword, na? Predefined.
Yeah, it's a predefined. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. And name, email, and all I want. So let's make TD expression. So contact dot name. How to get name dot first, and also contact dot name dot last. See, there is no errors also because it's properly structured data. And next what? Email contact. Where's my contact dot email directly? Email. Next phone number location. Yep. Let's say TD contact dot I think phone number also directly phone. Next contact dot location, no, location dot city. Yep. So you get the data. Not received. What man? Every time you get this type of issue. Uh, Error occurs in template contact component. Angular verify that is a part of this module. Contacts element schema. Contact card. Error. Line number 13. Contact app is not a known element. It's a custom component, dude. Um, yeah, I think I have to fix this because every time I was getting this type of error. Contact list is listed in the declared ng model but not directive or component. It's a component, dude. Contact list is a component. Huh. You have declared in the component app component also. Let's check in the app module. Yeah, you can check that. See, contact app, contact list, contact card. It is declared. Everything is there. I'm not sure. There's some build issue. Let me do one thing. Let me stop it. So next time we'll do one thing, we'll compare it from outside terminal. Maybe some problem with the integrated terminal or something. Okay, let's see. Come on. See, it's not showing any error in the code also. So now it's happy. Let's check. Yeah, you got data. Some problem is there internally. Okay, fine. So you have a data of 22 records. Fine. Now what's my plan is whenever I click on any row, that particular data I need to send to the parent. From there I need to send to the this guy. So first let me click on any row to catch hold of data. Then we'll send to the parent. Fine. So how you do that is app component, yeah, list component.html. So when I click on every row, so where you write the logic, this is the table row, right? Table row when you click on it. So let's make a click event somewhere here. Click, I'll call a function, I'll call a method that's called select contact. And I need to know the contact which I have selected. So I'll just provide the contact. See, I'm looping through the contact, right? The same contact I'm also providing to this method. So whatever the row I select, that particular contact object will be sending to this method. Let me see. Let me create this method in my TS file. So public contact. So this is going to receive the contact, and that too of type I contact. You can declare it. Okay. And what I do, I just make an alert contact. So let's see what is that contact is able to select. Okay. So we written, go back once, got stuck. Okay. So we written the click event on the row. So I call a method to select the contact, and that is going to receive a contact and just make an alert. Now check. I think it's got refresh. Yeah. When I click on each row object, I can convert this JSON dot stringify of contact. In TS file we use like this. In HTML we use the JSON filter. Now check. Yeah, it's got refresh. Yeah, when I click on this row, see I got Caspian. This Caspian I got here. Okay, for example, I select something called Pasty James. I got Pasty James. Okay, when I select something called Sophia, I got Sophia. Fine. So I can able to select the particular row. Now what, this row should not display on the alert, it should display here, and these two not in connection as per our diagram. These two not in, where is the paint, these two not in connection. So you have to lift up that state to the parent, from there provide to child. How to lift up? Using output. So let me say I create one output variable. So it output send contact is my variable. I can just use it as new event emitter from Angular core. Fine. So now what I do, I don't need to do alerts. I just say this dot send contact dot emit with my contact, like this. So this send contact you can configure in the parent to receive it. So who is the parent for my contact list is my contact app. So contact app I gonna receive data from child. So you want to receive something from child, don't need to declare any input or output. So you just need to declare a variable just like that. So selected contact of type I contact. So because we are using what TypeScript, so it must be a type. Okay, I declare a variable set a contact. So now what's my plan is, I'm going to receive data from the child and assign to this variable. So how you receive and where you configure, that is here. Here I'll say send contact. This contact is equal to dollar event. Okay, so uh, when I click on this, I mean this is going to send data and receive through selected contact, and this selected contact belongs to what? my parent contact app, and I want to see is it really received or not. How to do in HTML somewhere outside of this thing. This is my parent level, right? This is contact app thing. So I'll use pre-tag expression. Let's see what is the selected contact, and that too of type JSON filter. Okay, let's see what is the selected contact. Fine. Now check. Go here. Suppose when I click on it, see you got data. You got the data. So when I select something, see data getting changed in the parent. Okay, fine. But I don't want to display the raw data just like in the parent. I want to display data somewhere here. So I need to provide this data to the child. So providing data to child is shortcut. So child should receive it. So child is contact card. How it is received? You declare at input. So at input variable and at input annotation. Let's say same name selected a contact of type eye contact. Okay, fine. I declared it. So this is going to receive it, and where you configure that same here only. In this the selected contact, I'm going to provide to child. I don't need this pre-tag now. We have already confirmed. So let's say selected anything you want to send to the child is just like a property, and then like this. So this is belongs to the parent selected contact, say parent level, and this is belongs to the child. Okay, fine. Now child has received this one. I want to see that data. So where you display, you just need to bind this to HTML. So in HTML, I use the pre-tag again, use expression. So selected contact of type JSON. Just see the raw data. Now check here, right side, you can check when I click on this. So you got data, Caspian. So whatever the row I'm clicking, that data is gonna update there. Fine, perfect. So we have data now here, and this data I want to display in a card format. That's very simple. You can just convert this like one card header, card body, and this card I'll write BG danger and the text white. Here I need to display what image. Okay, so I'll just say image tag. You can use the property binding of the image. SRC, how we get the image? Selected contact dot picture dot large, like that, or I'll just say medium. Okay, and I can give the class call. I think a rounded circle. A rounded circle. It will display in a circular image. Let me check. Let me give some alt. This dummy just empty. Will make alternate text. Yeah, let's check now. Here, when I click on that, see I got the person. Okay, whatever the row you select, that data you come, and this to be center. And I'll do one thing. This is large only. I'll keep it in the center of card text center. Yeah, it is center like this. But I want to make little. I want to know. I didn't want to display that in the card header. I want to display in the card body, and I will give some margin top negative. Let's keep the card header empty. Let's check how we display. It display here. Okay, I say text center, and I want actually somewhere half of the header. Half of the header. I can give some more padding P3 to the header. Yeah, but where you display this in the half, you have to give some margin top. I'll do one thing. I give my own class. So contact image, my own class name. So this my class name. I give the global styles. Where is global styles? Somewhere in the style.css. Yeah, here I can just say dot contact image. Just say margin top minus 80 pixels. If you give minus, it's like above the its place. Oh, too much. Let's make some 50, and also give some more padding. Just say card header P5. Okay, now check. What man? I have to give more than now. Let's make around 70. Okay, now see. Yeah, I got it. Fine. This is okay, fine. And below that, I want to display the data also. So how you display in the contact card below the image? I just use this UL tag and li. I use with the class called list group, and this will be the class called list group item. Let me give list group item danger, nice reddish color, and name already there, but I just display. Okay, let's make selected contact is the name dot first, and also selected contact dot name dot last. Okay, just like that, I'll display some other content. Just email. This guy email. Just say email, and dob dot h. I just display some static years, and just like location also I'll add. You can give any type of data. It's a huge data, so just make some location dot city. Same time, same thing. Okay, so let's check here. But the problem is without event selection, at least the card is getting display, right? I don't need to suppose to display any card actually, correct? Because without selection, if you declare empty, it not looks good. If you select, okay, fine. I have to give some margin top also. Where is that? Somewhere here. Okay. So now structure ready. So now we'll discuss the thing. Yeah, I will display content. That's fine, but I don't want empty card. If I don't select any row, I don't want to display the card also. You can make the if condition on it. For this card, let's make star ng if selected contact. If it is there, then display, otherwise don't display. Now what happens? It is empty. There is no selected card. When you select, then only selected card is visible. And for last, oh, this you can't see, but I'm gonna stick to the top. You can do actually. Yeah, that is sticky top. Yeah, sticky top is a class of Bootstrap. So now check. Yeah, you have this one sticky. It just stick there, so you can happily see the fields. Perfect. So this is the contact tab, and where we have discussed uh, services, HTTP, and also what, and also interaction. Okay, so this is the thing, and yeah, by this time I think you understand properly the concepts. Okay, and let me take a backup, and then we'll start with some other concept. Let me copy src angular package.json copy. Go to here.
What if that fetch URL fails to give the data?
Which one?
That fetch URL, you have written some GitHub URL. If the GitHub server is not working or is down,
Good. Actually, yeah, I'll tell you. Actually, you need to write some error handling. Yeah, good question. I forgot actually error handling. So suppose this server down or you enter some wrong URL, so you will not receive data. So that time, what is the case is, I have made the notes for that. I show you somewhere. Error handling is here. Yeah, this one. Here you can use this extra function called catch error, and one customized function that will declare what type of data, what type of error it is. Okay.
suppose I want to show error status 404 not
Yes,
found.
yes. You can do that using this method. I tell you. So this you have to declare in the service. Yeah, 1 second. Go to app, services, contact service. Yeah, here you can declare the method public handle error, handle error. Okay, so this will receive an error of type HTTP error response. So inside we can write this code. I have a code here, this one. So let me declare let error message of type string is equal to this empty. So now I will just check the condition if error dot error is an instance of this is the code they have given by Angular. So error event, I think, yeah, error event. Yeah, if that is the instance of error event, so we can confirm that it's a client side error. Client error. And how you display the client error is, so error message is equal to, I use the backtick, let's say error with error dot message. Same thing, error dot message. Error dot message. That's a client side error. Else you'll be having server error. Okay. Okay. So what is this is error message is equal to, yes, use the backtick. So if you want to display the status code of the error, so 404 or something, error dot status, and also the message you want to display what went wrong. So that message you display using error dot message. I hope it's, yeah, fine. And you can just make the slash n for the next line. Okay, this is how you will write error handling, and I have to call that. So comma catch error. I need to give this dot handle error. That's it. You just need to declare the, what happened? You need to declare the, what it says, expected one meter.
On server, we have to put error.error.message.
Server it is error dot message.
Okay.
Client is error dot error dot message. Yeah, I forgot written statement. Actually, once you declare this value, you can just return throw error with my error message. So this is how you will customize it. Fine, and you have to declare the function or the method in this catch error. Fine, this is how you handle, but how I display that error message is when you subscribe. So let me go to the components. I think in the contact list, for example, contact list component. Yeah, here how can I receive it is, you can declare public error message of type string. Okay, so how you can assign data is, along with this method data, there is another method that is error, comma another method that gives you error. So you get the error, and that error I assign to this dot error message is equal to error, like this. So extra, this is a successful, just like our JavaScript promise. So first you have resolve and reject, then and catch. This is then, this is catch. So you get the error, you can assign to that. And let me display that error message also, where on the HTML in the t-body. If there is no error, you display that. If there is any error, I display another table row. Okay, specifically designed for display the error. I can write star ng if error message. If error message is there, then I display that in a proper way. Td display the error message. Let's see what is that. And you can make it nice. What text danger, red color. Fine. Okay, so as of now, we don't have error. We can't see that, but all of a sudden we can't make the server down. So can you do one thing? Can you
URL.
make, yeah, URL? I'll make it to wrong URL service. Yeah, I'll just make this URL as some wrong URL. For example, somewhere We need to take it back again. So I'll just delete F0. Yeah, I'll delete F0. So this error, this URL is wrong. So then you can't able to fetch data. So you get the error like this. But it is got only in the first column, and your design got mess up. I need to occupy for all the columns. Actually, you can do the yeah. Let's give some call span. Call span of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The call span of 5. Now, okay. So this is your error message. Status code 400, 404, and message is HTTP failure. So not found. Okay. This is how you display the error message, and if it is proper, where is that in the service? Back to original. So if it is there, then that will not display, only this will display. This is how you will handle the errors. Okay, fine. Yeah, thank you so much. It's a good question. Yeah, so this is done, and then we'll take a backup, and then we'll discuss some other example. SRC Angular.
Naveen,
Uh,
by using promises also we can fetch the data from server, right?
Using service only will fetch now.
So no, promise here we are using observables.
Uh,
By using the promises,
Promises of JavaScript. Huh.
by using the promises also we can
Using
get the
promise means if you are using the core library called Fetch API or Axios, we'll do that using promise. For example, in React JS, we don't have this HTTP client module. Okay, we need to use, and they have not, the React people has not even given any module also, because that's why React is called as library. It's not a framework. So HTTP, they have not given anything. So they given open to developer. So developer uses either Fetch API or Axios. So if you're using the core library like Axios, what you do, axios.get. Here you have to provide the URL. So here you'll have dot then dot catch like this. Okay, so dot then receive successful data, dot catch will receive the error. This way you will do in React. But in Angular, we have a different way to fetch the data. So we use this process services. Okay,
We
observables
don't
and all.
use Axios in Angular.
No, not required, because they have given already some provision, right? So we can use the same.
HTTP.
Yeah. If they're not given, then the people use their own. Okay, fine. Let me take a backup. Okay, let me take SRC Angular package copy. Go to. Where is the workspace? Angular fundamentals. Let's make only 10th file we are.
So what is
Angular
difference between
hyphen
promises and observable?
contact. Sorry, I didn't get.
What is difference between promises and observable?
Difference between observable and
Promises.
promise.
Yeah.
promises.
Promise is JavaScript thing to make some asynchronous core. I mean core library. If you want to use the vanilla JavaScript, promise is to make asynchronous calls. Okay, asynchronous means continuously you need to receive data. So plain core language. This is also kind of same only, but observable is something, is a library on top of promise, you can understand. And this is also used to fetch data uh, same way, like asynchronously, because keep on fetching data, right? So sequence. So both will be same process only. A promise also used to fetch data synchronously. Mostly servers concept we use that, and that is core. This is library specific Angular, but both purpose is almost same. Fetch data continuously from server.
Any difference between parameters like argument? Promises have single parameter or argument, and observer have multiple argument.
No.
Like that?
Observable also single parameter only. No? Observable you can declare as like this, single, and even promise also single.
You have somewhere you have subscribe method used, right?
Subscribe, in components.
So it's related to observable, right?
No. Observable is a raw data. Sequentially, you get the raw data that is observable. So that raw data keep on getting to the service actually. If you can see the diagram, see here. Observable means the sequence of raw data you receive from server to service is this one, observable. What is subscribe is for this component. For example, why they have given a subscribe concept is, suppose there is an update in server, right? So you have to call every time. You just keep on hitting the server to fetch data, right? So instead, they given something called subscriber. So just like here, if one house is subscribed to the newspaper company, so what happened, you don't need to every time you ask them, hey, give me today's news, tomorrow's news. Not like that. Once you have subscribed, they automatically provide news to you until unless you're subscribed. Same story they applied here. So any of the component just keep on updating with server side data, because once you have start with Node.js, so Node.js, suppose when you create an employee from Angular application, that store data in database. Now database filled with more data. Now I want to display that data on my component. So that time you don't need to call again. So once it is subscribed, it is just like one pipe has made to the server. So just like this is one water tanker, okay, and this is just made a pipe to that. So once you put a pipe, so how much you filled in, if you put some colorful water or normal water, whatever is there, you receive that. That's called subscribe. Okay, you don't need to call every time, you don't need to hit the server, because we never know, client never know what is the update happen at server side, right? So when server is update with some content, then you need to fetch it automatically, right? It should be in sync. So for that reason, we use this process.
So in a promises or subscribe, we used or not?
In promises, subscribe will not use, because this is the subscribe is a Angular concept. Promise is a core JavaScript concept. So there is
Okay.
no connection.
So like that subscribe method, some another method is there for promises.
Where in promise?
Yeah.
In promise, we have that only, like dot then dot catch. Dot then is a successful data, and dot catch is for I think just this here. For example, see, this data function is there. No, this is then function of your promise will have, right? Axios dot get this one. This is then function. This is catch function of promise. But subscribe is something else which continuously get data. Okay, and this subscribe may be internally is a part of Axios or Fetch API. Okay, we don't write subscribe especially in promises. Maybe they add this type of concept to continuously get data in the Axios library. Okay, we only use that Axios.get and .then .catch. But the subscribe, you never use that in Axios. Okay, fine. Okay, okay then. So actually, I had thought of discussing a concept that is called GitHub search. Yeah. Anyway, we fetch data, right? But this data is actually our data. I mean this data, right? This is our local data. We host it and we fetch it. Just an example of fetching data from server. Now I want to search some real data. Real data means I need to do some API calls. And what is that API is GitHub API. GitHub API. So every website will have API. I think you know that API means application programming interface. I talk about it. So API GitHub website is having some data. For example, if you go to GitHub, I just go to my GitHub account. Yeah, see here, this is the GitHub account. So I have some repositories and I have this. This is the website of GitHub. Okay, and whoever the name you search, I think MDO is the bootstrap inventor. This one, Mark Otto, is a creator of bootstrap. So whoever you search, that person data is coming in this website. So what is my plan is, I want to create my own Angular application. That Angular application is going to fetch the real data of GitHub based on the search query. So I'll make a search box in my Angular application. I will search for a particular user. So this has to send a request to the GitHub API background for to fetch the repository, to fetch data, to fetch personal information. They have some REST API, some kind of this type of URL. So they have this type of URL. Okay, random user dot me slash API slash something. So like slash user slash repository, some kind of URLs will be there. So those are like public URLs. So whatever the URL you fetch, you receive data. So what's my plan is I want to develop an application where you will search for a particular user. It will receive the data from the GitHub, just like this raw data. And that raw data I will convert to display my own. I think I have it. I'll show you.
Do we have post examples as well?
Yes, it is there. It is there. There is an example called Big Basket. There we will discuss
Big
all the
basket.
four.
So every.
Big Basket, not that level Big Basket. No, no, what you call orders and all. Only the CRUD operation. It's like you can earlier
Third
we
operation
have
will cover everything, na?
yes. Well, CRUD operation we have get to post to put to delete, everything is there. But I just show you. Yeah, GitHub search. Yeah. Anyway, this we'll discuss tomorrow. This 1 minute. Yeah, this one. This is our application. So yeah, I have a search box. I'll do a two-way binding here and click on search. I will get the same data which was already there here in the GitHub. I'll get same data. Even if you have profile in GitHub, do one thing. You just create a GitHub profile by yourself. Just log into GitHub and change your profile picture using the just go to settings. Here you can change the GitHub profile picture and something. Okay, just do one thing. Go to GitHub today and create your own account and just change your photo. And tomorrow tell me your profile URL. Okay, profile name. My profile name is Da Naveen Sagam. That's my profile name. Okay, you tell me the profile name. We will test with this application. Okay, you just type your profile name and search. So your photo has to come here. Okay, you need to have data there. Then only we'll get it. So I have it. I'll get. So you do that one. So tomorrow I tell you how to fetch it. So just like
Where is the API?
API is there in the GitHub itself. They have given separate URL for that. There is a, I tell you, api.github.com. This one, api.github.com is the URL to fetch data. See, this is the raw data. Whatever the data you see here, right? For this specific data, raw data is this one. For example, login name. See, you can see my name also. See, name, company, location, biography. So you can see this biography is there, na? That is there here. So we will be sending a request to this one with our, and here see, Da Naveen Sagam slash something is there, na? So this I'm gonna search from my text box. So whatever I'm typing now, so when I search this particular query, I will attach to this query and I'll send to the URL. But only thing is you need to register your application to the GitHub. You need to register it. Otherwise, they won't give you access. It means only limited access. It means if you have not registered your application with GitHub, registration means you are informing the GitHub that, hey, I'm using your API. So you'll be doing continuous calls. So if you're not registered, they'll feel like you're doing something kind of hacking. So you keep hitting the server of GitHub, so they will block you. They'll block your application. So you need to register it. I tell you how to register. So once you register, you can do unlimited calls to the API. Okay, so that I'll tell you tomorrow. Okay, and then we'll see once we start with Node.js, we can create our own data. Everything is our own, so we can change everything by ourselves. Okay, so that we'll see once we start with the Node.js server. Fine, I think time up. Some time is there. That's fine. Okay, enough for today's class, and tomorrow we'll see that. And meanwhile, you create an application. And even if you want to learn this example, I think this example I already hosted on my YouTube channel. You can just find that out. Same example we'll see live tomorrow. If you go to my YouTube here, if you go to playlist, not playlist, I think videos. See here, I made 2 videos. it is recorded of online class only. So React.js, same example, Angular, same example, copy paste. Okay, look and feel same only. I mean, this image look and feel same only, but in React.js batch, we'll develop in complete example in React, and Angular batch will develop complete example in Angular. So you can see the difference. Okay, that's advantage also when you join Angular and React batch. And one more thing, the people who want to join React, we are starting a fresh batch on 2nd October. So if you wish, you can join on 8 o'clock after immediately completion of this Angular class. React is going to start on Friday, demo class. Okay, I think from Monday onwards, actual class starts. Okay, if you wish, you can join, and if any friends are there, please inform. Okay, fine. So this
Okay.
is the
4
example.
hours continuous.
Yeah. Morning 4
And
hours.
do
Morning
you
4.
have any Node.js batch?
Node.js batch is not there. Same
You will
Node.js
cover
we'll
in there.
cover in here only. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a main stack, so we learn here. In React.js is a MERN stack, so there also Node.js will come. Okay, fine.
Morning batch isn't there right now.
Yeah, is there. Morning one React, one Angular is there. Evening also one Angular is now, and one React is going to start. So two in the evening, two in the morning. Okay, fine. So you can refer this. So tomorrow's example you easily understand. So after you refer. Okay, so tomorrow you have two tasks. One is create account with your profile picture, and also watch this one. So we'll see live tomorrow, right? So that's it. Thank you so much, and we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.